Hello, everyone.
Like you said, though, they're interesting.
The force of this tornado is unbelievable, as it tears through the backyard, rips apart the surrounding trees, and leaves the entire deck covered in debris. This isn't a tsunami, but a tidal bore on the Ganges River in India, formed when powerful tidal water from the sea is funneled into the river and creates a sudden wave front. This Cape buffalo appears to have become upset after being moved out of the transport truck in the heat, and it quickly turned that frustration into a dangerous chase. Within seconds, the street turned chaotic as intense winds ripped through the area and sent people sprinting back indoors. The truck driver's carelessness almost put someone else in serious danger, but thankfully, the man nearby reacted in time and walked away unharmed. The fact that the driver appeared to be okay after such a violent rollover is absolutely incredible, and it shows just how fortunate he was to escape unharmed. It looks like the driver panicked and completely lost control, repeatedly moving the car forward and backward as terrified bystanders screamed and scattered for safety. This intense downpour turned the entire street into a white blur, as heavy rain and strong wind completely wiped out visibility in just moments. A demolition job in Tumbes, Peru, nearly ended in tragedy when the wall unexpectedly gave way in the wrong direction, but the workers managed to get clear just in time.
I pulled the throttle to full idle and shut off the ignition just before touchdown to avoid any fires after landing. Not the smoothest landing, but no damage.
This was an incredibly close call, as a Corvette C7 lost control on the highway and nearly caused a serious chain reaction accident. but the truck driver managed to dodge it just in time. This is the dramatic moment the Jiaozhi Bridge in Hubei, China was brought down, sending huge waves crashing across the river after the controlled demolition. This is not just a wildfire, because the Chaparral Fire in California created a dangerous fire vortex that turned the blaze into an even more unpredictable threat. This storm ripped through the forest with incredible force, bringing down multiple trees and turning a normally quiet area into a dangerous scene. A routine road inspection in India nearly turned into a tragedy when this truck rolled over, but the people nearby were lucky enough to get away in time. What looks like a wave pool is actually earthquake footage from Davao City, Philippines, where the shaking caused the water to thrash violently. The force of this avalanche in Arkiz, Russia, is truly frightening, as tons of snow come rushing downhill and nearly overwhelm the area around the building. This festival marks the end of Myanmar's rainy season. But when one of these huge firework-filled balloons malfunctions, celebration can turn into panic almost instantly. The force of this tornado in Gaylord, Michigan was unbelievable, as rain and flying debris swallowed the streets and left the entire neighborhood in fear. Watching the tsunami surge through Shiramaru, Japan is chilling. What was once a peaceful neighborhood turned into a violent wave of destruction in moments. The excavator likely struck an underground pressure pocket, blasting dirt and debris into the air. The operator was extremely lucky to stay safe. The massive tree fell right beside them after the rain, and just a few seconds of delay could have changed everything for the worse.
Barely made it. There.
A truck carrying gas cylinders slammed into a stopped bus and exploded violently, creating a terrifying highway scene filled with flames and debris. The ceiling clearly wasn't reinforced well enough and collapsed under the weight in seconds. Hopefully, both workers escaped without serious injuries. This massive landslide is truly terrifying. The whole mountainside gave way with unstoppable force, sending huge clouds of dust and debris crashing downward. One wrong angle turned the entire backyard into panic, proving exactly why fireworks should always be handled by professionals. Watching an e-bike battery explode like this is terrifying, and just a few seconds of delay could have ended in a far worse tragedy. loose tire flew straight toward him, and only a perfectly timed head dodge saved him from serious injury. A few inches were the difference between survival and tragedy here. Speeding through corners is never worth the risk. This is perfect timing at its finest. If they had walked even a little slower, the ending could have been completely different.
Oh my.
An engine failure turned this airshow practice into a fight for survival, giving the pilot only seconds to eject before the fighter jet exploded into a massive fireball. In India, a furious elephant charged through the street with terrifying force, and its immense power was enough to overturn a car as frightened residents watched helplessly. This terrifying TP-52 race crash occurred when two high-speed sailing yachts collided, and the force of the impact nearly threw the crew overboard. One second of lost control sent this truck spinning across the highway. Thankfully, it didn't turn into a fatal crash.
Oh my God, it's on fire! Oh my God!
Sparks shot from the cargo plane after an engine failed shortly after takeoff, but it thankfully made a safe emergency landing at Miami International Airport.
Holy I hope they're okay. I wonder if they're doing an emergency. Oh.
This quick U-turn may have saved him, because wild elephants in Khao Yai National Park can be extremely dangerous when they feel threatened. This terrifying moment unfolded when a Russian-made MiG-29 caught fire on the runway in Belarus before takeoff. But thankfully, the pilot ejected in time. The crowd watched in shock as the jet-powered truck exploded into flames during the race, turning a celebration into a heartbreaking disaster.
Hear that, folks?
The truck suddenly changed lanes, triggering a terrifying chain reaction that trapped 2 other vehicles in the crash. The milk tea shop was destroyed within seconds as the truck rushed downhill. But thankfully, no pedestrians appeared to be directly hit. What started as heavy rain quickly turned into a regional disaster in Dagestan, Russia, as landslides damaged roads, infrastructure, and forced people to flee. Removing unstable rocks like this is risky, but it's far safer than letting them collapse unexpectedly later. This terrifying sinkhole formed as underground water gradually dissolved the rock below, causing a massive collapse that swallowed several cars within seconds. This powerful rhino immediately showed its strength, suddenly charging the vehicle and turning a routine release into chaos.
Помидоров и табака могут услышать собаки. Так что если ваши домашние... вероятно, стоит полить как унаследует будущий урожай. С вами была Ирина.
Shockwave, he is coming fast. He is coming really fast. He's catching up. Looks like he has caught Phil Stein. He's coming up on Rob Holland.
The crowd looked on in shock as the jet truck suddenly erupted in flames, creating a huge fireball in the middle of the air show.
Полотенце. Спальный мешок. Да, спальный мешок. Мамочки!
This electric car suddenly exploded at the charging station like a bomb, and within seconds it was completely consumed by massive flames. Once a powerful cargo workhorse, this Boeing 727-200F is now entering the final chapter of its flying career. Unexpected obstacles can appear on the road at any moment, so always slow down and stay alert to avoid dangerous crashes. The power pole suddenly collapsed in a busy market in Rajasthan, India, leaving people only seconds to get out of danger. After colliding with the patrol boat, the sand dredging vessel began sinking rapidly, creating a dangerous situation as everyone watched helplessly. Residents in Afghanistan intentionally pushed part of the flood-damaged road into the river to prevent a bigger collapse and keep nearby people safer. Instead of ringing the doorbell, he decided to drive straight through the gate like he owned the place. Sometimes trying to help on muddy roads only makes things worse, and this rescue attempt proved it perfectly. The heavy load likely shifted during unloading, destabilizing the truck and causing it to roll over dramatically. Thousands of fireworks filled the sky as Collioures fans celebrated the club's historic 100th anniversary with passion and loyalty. The iconic Mandarin Oriental Hotel on Miami's Brickell Key was brought down in seconds on April 12, 2026, disappearing into a massive cloud of dust.
Building is shaking. The dust is coming up. The windows are shaking. They spent.
This furious elephant in India charged into the street with incredible force, tossing a car aside as terrified locals watched in shock. This was more than quick reflexes. It was pure luck that kept him from being run over by the truck on that dangerous slope. This burning fuel truck in Syria created sheer panic as flames trailed behind it, turning an ordinary road into a path of destruction. This powder snow avalanche in Austria raced forward at terrifying speed, engulfing the entire landscape within seconds and covering everything in white with unstoppable force.
高速，继续行驶160公里。
This tsunami in Indonesia looks terrifying, but the calm reaction of the people nearby makes the entire scene feel even more surreal. A sudden 7.1 magnitude earthquake near the Monument to the Revolution turned central Mexico City into a scene of panic and confusion. Thankfully, the 10-year-old girl suffered only minor injuries after being grabbed by a lion, but the moment was absolutely horrifying. A Boeing 787 Dreamliner made aviation history as the largest aircraft ever to land on a frozen runway in Antarctica. The road vanished beneath mud and fallen trees as the landslide rushed down, leaving no time to react. This mining disaster in Myanmar erupted into chaos as loose earth and muddy water surged downhill, forcing workers to run for their lives. The storm's force is unbelievable. One powerful gust was enough to rip the shed apart and scatter debris everywhere. This powerful windstorm turned ordinary outdoor furniture into dangerous airborne debris, creating a scene of fear and chaos. The sudden floodwaters surging through Israel's Tzahalim Valley created a shocking scene, transforming rocky desert trails into dangerous torrents. just seconds before a tornado struck their backyard in Gary, Indiana. A father and son rescued their dog and escaped a potential tragedy. Watching this is heart-stopping. Just one small delay, and he could have vanished into the collapsing road beneath him. Powerful waves pushed seawater into Castelnovi, Croatia, flooding streets and homes and turning the area into a chaotic scene of destruction. A powerful flood swept across the road, forcefully carrying a car away. But luckily, the driver escaped just in time before the situation turned tragic. When the avalanche hit without warning, calm thinking and quick control made all the difference, turning a terrifying moment into a lucky escape.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Stand back. Are you kidding me?
The ground suddenly collapsed beneath this man in India, and one simple step turned into a dangerous fall in seconds. Even after reversing quickly, the driver couldn't fully escape as falling trees still struck the vehicle during the frightening moment. This massive landslide is absolutely terrifying, with tons of mud and rocks crashing down the mountainside with unstoppable force. This roadside sinkhole created a terrifying scene as the well suddenly collapsed into the ground, leaving everyone nearby shocked and helpless. A massive waterspout formed off Penang Island, Malaysia, and quickly moved from the sea toward land, creating a terrifying scene. Looks like the excavator forgot it was made for digging, not for pulling off circus-level balancing tricks. Heavy rain weakened a retaining wall in Turkey, and within seconds it collapsed, sending debris crashing onto a nearby vehicle. Massive rockfalls in Russia's Suntinsky district turned the road into a dangerous debris zone as huge rocks and loose earth thundered down the mountainside. This powerful storm in Jinan, China, turned the city into a scene of chaos as fierce winds ripped off roofs and hurled debris everywhere. The Palisades fire in Malibu, California was unbelievably intense, sending flames and smoke sweeping across the backyard and leaving destruction all around. Strong winds in Thailand brought down a massive billboard, and only the driver's perfectly timed move saved the family's car from being crushed. One second later, this could have ended much worse, but luckily he reacted fast enough to avoid the falling steel gate. The heavy logs may have made the truck impossible to control, causing it to roll backward and crash into multiple cars. powerful tornado winds tore through Inner Mongolia, China, damaging around 100 yurts and leaving residents stunned by the sudden destruction. The boat was swept away by powerful floodwaters while carrying an 18-wheel truck across the Mekong River near the Thailand-Myanmar border. Thankfully, everyone on board survived safely. Curiosity brought them closer to the waves, but one powerful crash reminded them why the sea should never be underestimated. One moment, everything was calm, and the next, the tornado tore through and left the whole area devastated. It may look like lightning, but this dramatic explosion was actually caused by an underwater blasting operation in Finland. This is what nature looks like in Hawaii when a volcano erupts, glowing lava, rising smoke, and the earth reshaping itself in real time.
OK， 正在拨打电话到110，请注意。
After heavy rain in Turkey, overflowing streams became violent floodwaters strong enough to bring down this iron bridge within moments. In Terry Garhwal, India, heavy rainfall triggered destructive flooding that swept away homes, shops, and buildings in just moments. The collapsing slope caused instant chaos, and everyone nearby ran as far as they could to escape the landslide. A dangerous rockslide in Vietnam triggered an urgent evacuation as massive parts of the mountainside began collapsing near homes below. The barge, loaded with bricks, had stopped for fuel in Vietnam when it suddenly lost balance and capsized in a terrifying moment. Road conditions can change in an instant and in ways no one expects, so staying alert and calm is the best way to stay safe. The train suddenly derailed in Indonesia, creating a terrifying scene as the rail cars tipped off the tracks and dust filled the air.
Oh, I see smoke coming out of the windows.
Oh, you can feel the floor vibrate.
Yeah, feel the building move. Wow.
Whoa.
The fish weren't jumping for fun. In Greece, this strange behavior is often a survival response when predators drive them toward the surface.
Look at that!
This strange glowing object wasn't a UFO at all. It was a Chinese rocket launch, with illuminated exhaust gases creating the bright jellyfish-like shape.
Umilaw siya.
Ano yan? Baka airplane. Hindi bala.
Ipapapalitan na naman sa Tarlac sa ano.
Ay, aeroplano siya, Gar. Malaki.
Tignan mo na.
This phenomenon is known as an ice shove, when wind, pressure, and changing temperatures push huge ice sheets onto land with powerful force. If you're caught in a whirlpool like this, stay calm, conserve energy, and swim sideways instead of fighting the current head-on. The earthquake's sudden shaking left no time to react, turning a calm moment into panic within seconds. A terrifying moment unfolded in Myanmar as the earthquake hit, causing part of the temple to collapse and dust to fill the air within seconds. Sometimes survival comes down to just inches, and this near collision showed how incredibly lucky both crews were that day.
Hey, up here.
A relaxing bike ride in the US quickly turned nerve-wracking when a man and his dog unexpectedly ran into a bear on the trail.
Good boy. Good boy, bud.
The warehouse roof in China stood no chance against this tornado, as the powerful winds ripped it apart and twisted the metal framework into the sky. Sakurajima volcano unleashed a huge eruption that sent towering ash clouds over the region, causing severe ashfall across Kagoshima City in Japan.
Welcome back. Jesus Christ. Holy Holy right, George. Right.
It is hard to imagine a luckier fishing trip than this one, with the water completely covered in fish as the boats move through the area. What started as people trying to hold things together quickly became a dangerous situation when the wind ripped the roof apart and sent debris flying. The ice here is not just melting, because it is actually being driven across the surface and shoved against the shore, creating ridges and piles of broken ice.
他的轮胎掉了，鸡妈呀！右边，右边，你直接去右边，等一下，谁的？他的吗？不是，还在开啊，不是他的。干！
The cargo looked too heavy to handle safely, and when it shifted during unloading, the man lost control and fell in a frightening close call. Nothing says good morning at work like getting knocked over by a surprise fabric avalanche from your coworker's forklift.
Oh my god, you just lost a wheel. Holy.
This intense storm hit a GIO airport in India without warning, and the strong gusts were so powerful that they sent heavy airport equipment sliding across the runway area. After a 5.2 magnitude earthquake struck northern Evia, Greece, part of Mount Kontili gave way and sent clouds of dust and debris sliding down the slope. This beautiful cloud formation happens when strong winds push moist air over the mountain, creating a smooth cap-like cloud that makes the peak look almost unreal. It looks like a scene from a nature documentary, as a massive flock of vultures gathers around the truck and completely takes over the hillside.
Oh, look at you. That's all. You know, and I believe my heel.
Thanks for watching till the end. Hit subscribe so you're always the first to catch new videos. See you in the next one.